32, son. Easy.
Hey, what's going on? This your boy Marc Clayton. And I wanted to make this video for any up-and-coming artist or engineer that started recording and has gotten into mastering. And I want to show you guys how to master like Drake or any other major artist that you see in the music industry today using the bare minimum here in Pro Tools, the bare minimum in stock plugins, all stock plugins, and taking that mix to the next level. All right. So first off, there are about 5 things you want to make sure that you always have when you're mastering music. You want to make sure that you have a master fader. Now, to get that here on Pro Tools, all you do is go to track, go to new, make sure that it's always stereo. Master fader, always stereo, and turn this into master fader. Hit create. Now, I won't do that here because I already have one set up, but essentially that's how easy it is, right? And then from there are 4 things you want to make sure you always have. You want to make sure you have an EQ here, a compressor, stereo width, and then you want to be able to turn all of the sounds together, the mix that you already have, turn everything all the way up. Now, some people might say the order doesn't matter. I'm a strong believer that the order does matter. So I always have the EQ first, right? And to get this EQ here on Pro Tools, all you do is go to here, multi-channel plugin, EQ 37 band, stereo. That's simple, and I already have it pulled up here, but it's really that simple, right? So when you have that pulled up, as you can kind of notice around the red, you can see on the low end, around 100 hertz, you can see I have a little raised a little bit. That just brings up the bass in the actual mix. And then here you notice a dip around 500 hertz. Now, when I first started mixing, I didn't do this, but I actually started simply because it makes a huge difference in taking the muddiness out of the mix. Now, around 500 hertz, what you have is you have the vocal presence, you have the drums. What I mean is like the claps, the percussions, a lot of that going on in that area, and you just want to make it lighter on the ear. So you put a dip around 500 hertz, and then as you go here, you see in the green around 2,000 hertz. I kind of put I don't know the word to say real quick, but I kind of raised the sound there, raised the frequency there. So that just brings a crispiness to the song. So it adds the little sauce right there. You know what I'm saying? So you put a little bit of sauce on there just for the ears, makes it a little bit pleasant to the ear when you're hearing a little bit of higher frequencies. And as you see, I put a little bit of a higher, or boosted the frequencies around 6,000 hertz too, and let it roll off at the end. Now, what that sounds like is this.
Close range, trick dice. Ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm.
Now, if I were to turn that off or put a bypass on it, this is what it sounds like in comparison.
Close range, trick dice. Ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm way behind. Overtime, shit the only way
so
back.
You see the EQ has a major impact of bringing the track to life, right? So after we do all of that, we go down to the compressor. Now, to get to the compressor here on Pro Tools, multi-channel plugin, dynamics, you see the DYN3 compressor dash limiter stereo. I already have it pulled up here too as well. So just take that right there. So first off, if you're familiar with what a compressor does, all it does is it takes the high sounds and the low sounds and kind of puts them in a range that makes it easier for the listener to take in what's going on. You don't want anything too loud, you don't want anything too low. So it kind of averages everything together. Now, what I do simply is that I put the attack here around 10. Now, to break down what the attack is, how fast that does the compressor, how fast does it register when that song is going. So I put it around 10. The release is simple. How long does the compressor hold on to the sound that originally comes in? Put it around 80. The gain, I play with around 2 to 3, anywhere between there, maybe 2.5, depending on the song. But I keep it very simple. And then the threshold, I bring it down to negative dB. And then after I do all of that, I kind of go with the ratio. I'm sorry. So I go right there and I kind of do with the ratio. Now, depending on the song, ratio has a big impact on the distortion in the music. So you kind of want to play with it depending if it's bass heavy or not, but you want to make sure that it takes out the distortion. You don't want to hear that in the actual track. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like with the compression.
Close range, trick dice. Ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working.
Now this is what it sounds like without the compression.
Close range, trick dice, ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm way behind. Overtime, shit the only way back home.
Now what's next is probably the easiest thing we're gonna do here. That's just the stereo width. Now the stereo width, you just go to multi-channel plug-in, sound field, air stereo width, just widen it. Right here I have a 180, but you can widen this as far as it goes. But all of that does is just brings the presence into the music. So with it, it sounds like this.
Close range, trick dice, ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm way behind.
Now when you bypass it and take it off, this is what it sounds like.
Close range, trick dice, ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm way behind. Overtime, shit the only way back home. Rockets.
Now, when you add all of these things together, they make a huge difference. But by themselves, they're just a little impact on the actual sound of the music. Now, after you have everything set with the EQ, the compressor, and then the stereo width, you just go to maximum here. You go here, you go to dynamics, go to maximum, and all that is like it just turns everything up. So I usually put the ceiling around negative dB. I turn on noise shaping, but to do that you got to turn on dither as well, and then you just turn the threshold up. And what that does, the ceiling is how loud can the song actually get, and the threshold is turning everything up together. Now, when I play this, the difference is going to be 90 days. So when you hear it like this, is
close range, trick dice, ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm way behind.
Now I want to play everything, just to keep it simple, just turn everything off one by one, so you guys see what I'm actually turning off. But when you're listening to the song, so the first thing I want to actually turn on is the EQ. So as we're listening, I'm going to be turning everything on so you can hear everything beforehand, and then when you hear all of the plugins together, using stock plugins, remind you. So
close range, trick dice, ain't no lucky shots, make enough to retire, but still be working like I'm way behind.
Now you add the compressor.
Overtime, shit the only way back home. Rocket tuck, that's when I'm feeling safe. Kid and play, I don't play. These niggas kidding around, we're getting around. Grapevine, I'm just silent till the right time. Then I'm on it. Promise you that you won't hear a sound, cause these niggas really out here on some kid and play. I don't play. These niggas kidding around.
So just very simple, using only stock plugins here in Pro Tools, plain and simple. This is how you can make your songs or master your songs like Drake and like I said, any other major artist that you see in the music industry today. 5 things, keep it very, very simple. Have a master track, EQ, compression, stereo width, and then adding that last maximum to turn everything up. And that's how you can make sure you have that quality industry sound using the bare minimum stock plugins here in Pro Tools in your home studio. All right, so I appreciate you guys for checking this video out. I have some more content coming down the line, and let's get it. Thank you.
I've been broke, down and out for real, dog. Watch for the snakes, cause they be out for real, dog. They saying lies for real, dog. They don't ride for real, dog. They be in the house for real, dog. Running 8 miles for real, dog. I move along, but it's never safe.